Good morning, students. For today's lecture, we are going to discuss about subnetting. Okay, so we'll see today what is subnetting, why it is required, and some problems on subnetting. Okay, so for the last lecture, I had shown you all this diagram, right? Okay, which shows before subnetting how the IP address looks like, and after subnetting how it looks like. Okay, so what is subnetting is a subnetwork. First we'll see what is a subnet. Okay, so a subnetwork or a subnet, okay, is a logical subdivision of an IP network. Okay, so the practice of dividing a network into two or more networks is called as subnetting. Okay, so a subnet is what? Is a logical subdivision of an IP network. And subnetting is what? It's the practice of dividing networks into two or more networks. Okay, so now you can see here your IP address, as we know that, has a network portion and a host portion. Okay, so after subnetting, what is done? The host part, the host portion, okay, is further divided into subnet identifier and the host identifier. That is, the host, from the host part we are taking some bits, okay, as for we are taking some bits for network, okay, and we name it as subnetwork. Okay, so you can take I'll just take an example and explain. Okay, so say if say I want to send a gift to my neighbor who is staying next to my house. Okay, so what I do is I go to a courier service, okay, and I give my gift or whatever, the parcel, to the courier service, and the courier service will deliver it to my neighbor who is staying next door. Okay, so now say I stay in Margao, okay, and my neighbor, I want to send a parcel to my neighbor, and I don't want to give him or her directly. So I go to a courier service, say, which is in Panjim. Okay, so which is far, right? My neighbor is my next door, but the courier service is far. So I have to go to Panjim, then the parcel will reach Panjim, and then the courier service will deliver it from Panjim to Margao. So it takes more time, right? So what is done is, the courier service which is there, they have their subnets in Margao and all the other towns in Goa. Okay, they have their subnets, means small centers. The main center is in Panjim, their small center is in each town or is in each taluka. Okay, which makes it easier and faster, okay, for any client. So say the parcel doesn't have to go to Panjim and come back. Okay, so what I do is, I don't go to their main office in Panjim. I go to the subnet or their office in my town and give it to them. Okay, so then the processing is done at the center, say, the main office, but the delivery is from Margao to Margao itself. Okay, so this is the same concept. The same concept is used in subnetting. So what is done is, these subnets are created. Okay, so whenever you want to deliver a packet, it goes to the subnetwork itself. Okay, it doesn't have to track the main network. Okay, so as I go on, I will you all will come to know why subnetting is needed and why it is done and how it is done. Okay, so one more example. So this is one example. The other example is, say there's a train, okay, going from Kerala to, say, UP. Okay, and there are, say, 400 people who wants to travel. Okay, and say there are 4 bogies. So this bogie which is there has a capacity of 100, okay, which is given to Karnataka quota. This 100 capacity is given to Goa. This 100 capacity is given to Maharashtra, and this 100 is given to UP. So there are 4 bogies with 100 capacity. Okay, means only 100 people can accommodate, and then only for Karnataka quota it's 100, Goa quota is 100, Maharashtra quota is 100, and UP quota is 100. Now in Kerala there are 400 people, wherein from this 400, 100 people want to go to Karnataka from Kerala. 100 want to go to Goa. Okay. 150 wants to go to Maharashtra. Okay. And 50 wants to go to UP. Okay, this is the thing. So from this 400, okay, 100 wants to go to Karnataka, 100 wants to go to Goa, 150 wants to go to Maharashtra, and 50 wants to go to UP. Now what happens is, okay, this 100 who wants to go to Karnataka will get accommodated in this bogie. Even this 100 who wants to Goa can get accommodated in this bogie. Now Maharashtra, see, 150 people wants to go to Maharashtra, but the capacity is only 100. So how many remain? 50 still has to remain, because they can't be accommodated in this bogie. Okay, and then UP, the capacity is 50, but only 50 people want, the capacity is 100, but only 50 people. Still 50 are vacant here, right? Okay, so this 50 people who wants to go to Maharashtra, okay, they can't travel because the quota is over, but still the train is not full, right? Because 50 are there. So this 50 can be accommodated in this bogie, because the train is going from Karnataka, Goa, Maharashtra to UP. So this 50 people who wants to go to Maharashtra can be accommodated in UP quota. Okay, so this is what this accommodation which is done in this bogie is same as the concept of subnetting. Okay, see, we have class A, class B, and class C, right? Class C, how many hosts can be accommodated? 256, right? Here how many? Almost 65,000, right? Now if I want to build a network of say 300, okay, I can't use a IP address of class C. I have to use a IP address of class B. Okay, but then if I want to use the IP address of class C, then it is giving me how many hosts? 65,000 hosts, wherein I require only 300. And how many are getting wasted? Almost 6,200 IPs are getting wasted, right? Which can be used. Okay, so the concept of subnetting was introduced. Okay, I hope you all have followed this. Okay, so basically, so what is subnetting? Subnetting is the practice of dividing a network into 2 or more smaller networks. Okay, so why it is used? Because it increases routing efficiency. Okay, which helps to enhance the security of the network. Okay, and reduces the size of the broadcast domain. Okay, so your IP subnetting designates high order bits from the host as a part of network prefix, that first network portion. Okay, so this method divides a network into smaller subnets, and it also helps, your subnetting also helps you to reduce the size of the routing table. Okay, and where the routing table is stored? In the routers. So because of subnetting, the routing table size also decreases. Okay, and next is this method, the subnetting method also helps you to extend the existing IP address base and restructures the IP address. Okay, I will repeat this point. subnetting helps you to extend the existing IP address. So what do you mean by extending the IP address is, existing IP address is this. Okay, so say you have an internet, you have a router. Okay, so for your machine, see, this is before subnetting. Okay, so you have say 2 machines or 1 machine. So what I do is, if I don't use subnetting concepts, I have to take or I have to use 2 different IPs. So since there is only 1 machine, I am using 1 IP. Okay, or I have 2 machines. Okay, so if there are 2 machines, I have to use 2 IP. But if that same IP is used after subnetting, okay, the same IP I am using after subnetting, then I can have with that, see, I will take IP, this is say from ISP I am taking 1 IP for 1 machine, but the same IP after subnetting I can use it for 2 different networks or 2 different machines. Okay, you can see 144.28.0.0. okay, I am using this single IP I am using for 2 machines or say 2 different subnetworks. Okay, subnets, that is 144.28.16.0 and 144.28.32.0. okay, the network portion remains same for all the subnets. You can see here the network portion is 144.28 and 144.28. okay, the host portion will change. Okay, so this is what before subnetting and this is after subnetting. Okay, so one more example, you can see here there are 4 departments how we have in our college, say computer, ETC, Mech and civil. Similarly, there are 4 departments. You can see EDU, education department, business department, administrative and computer department. Say there are 4 departments. So EDU department say are having 30 nodes, means 30 computers. Business department say are having 40 computers. Your administrative department is say having 200 computers, and CSS department is having 256 computers. So if I am not using subnetting, okay, so that time if I am not using subnetting, then what I am supposed to do? I have to use class C IP addresses here because it is less than 256. Here also class C IP addresses I have to use. Here also class C IP addresses I have to use, and here I have to use class B addresses. Okay, class B, why? Because class C supports only 254. Okay, then 254 plus 2, no, it is. One is for broadcast address and one is for your network address. Okay, so I have to use class B. So here for 4 different departments I have to use different classes, IP addresses of different classes. But same thing if I use same thing if I want to build a network using subnetting, what I do is I take only 1 IP address, okay, of class B, and then I create the subnetworks, that is subnets. So 1, 2, 3, 4 subnets I use. You can see here the network portion is same, that is 128.97, 128.97, 128.97, and then the rest is the host portion. So only 1 IP address is used of class B and it is subdivided into subnetworks. Okay, I hope you all have understood what is subnetting. Okay, so this is what I have explained. Okay, it is important to understand that the network part of the address is only used for routing IP packets on the public internet or network. Once the packet enters the private network, then the host address is used and the public network address is not used. Means what is, see here this is your public IP address. Okay, so once it enters your, so this is public because this is taken from the ISP. Okay, and here it becomes private. Okay, so once it enters the local network, okay, then we don't want the network portion, we want only the host portion. Okay, so this is what is explained. Okay, so why use subnetting? Okay, you all please read this I have already explained. Next is subnet mask. Okay, we all know that IP address consists of two things, right? One is the network address and the other one is the host address, right? But from IP only we are not able to find out which is network address or the network portion and which is the host portion, right, or the host address. So we use, because in order to know which is the network portion and which is the host portion, we use subnet mask. Okay, so subnet mask allows us to find out network address and host address from the IP address. Okay, so your subnet mask is a 32-bit address, okay, which is used to distinguish between network address and the host address in the IP address given. Okay, the subnet mask is represented in dotted decimal format, as how the IP, it is like how IP address is also designated. So IP address is also written in the form of dotted decimal notation, and even subnet mask also is written in the form of dotted decimal notation. So in the previous lecture we had already seen the default subnet mask for class A, class B and class C, right? So this for class A the default subnet mask was 255.0.0.0, then class B was 255.255.0.0, and class C it was 255.255.255.0. So only n one place, network portion is 16 bits. Here in class A network portion is 8 bits. In remember this, class B the network portion is 16 bits and class C the network portion is 24 bits. Okay, so this was the default subnet mask for class A, B and C. Now you can have more subnet mask. Okay, you can have other than class A, class B and class C, this default subnet mask, you can have more subnet mask. Means what? Now as I told you all in this diagram, okay, your host portion or the host address is, from the host address you are taking some bits as the subnet bits, okay, and then making those subnet bit as a part of the network address. Okay, so that is your this subnet mask will help you all to do this. Okay, so what is done here is, these are some valid subnet mask, okay, wherein you put all 8 ones, okay, in your host portion, okay, the first part of the host portion, the left hand side, that is 255. Then you put only 7 ones, that is 254. Then 252, then that is 252 is 6 ones, then 5 ones is 248, then 4 ones is 240, then 3 ones is 224, then 2 ones is 192 and 1 is 128. Okay, so these are some valid subnet masks. Now in subnet mask also there are two types. One is default subnet mask, which we have seen for class A, B, C. Okay, those are called as default. And second is the custom subnet mask. Those are these subnet masks which are listed here. Okay, so one is the default subnet mask, that is class A, B and C, and the second type is the custom subnet mask. Okay, are this the combinations of this. Okay, so we will see next, we will see some examples. So the first example says, the network on internet has a subnet mask of 255.255.240.0. Okay, so 240 means how many ones? 1, 2, 3 and 4 ones. Okay, so what we are going to do is, the subnet mask which is given is this. Okay, so 255 means 8 ones. Okay, this 255 means this 8 ones, and 240 means how many ones? 4 ones, this part, and then 0. So what we do is, we write the subnet mask in binary form. what they have asked in this problem is what is the maximum number of hosts it can handle. Okay, so they have not given your IP address, but they have given here the subnet mask, and they are asking if this is the subnet mask for any IP. Okay, for any IP, how many hosts it will handle, or how many hosts you can have in the network. That is what it is asking. Okay, so if this is the subnet mask given, how many hosts or how many machines you can install, that is what it is asking. So number of hosts is what? 2 raised to number of zeros minus 2, and numbers of zeros are how many? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 2. So 12, 2 raised to 12 minus 2. This minus 2 I have already told you why you are doing minus 2. Minus 2 means 2 addresses have been removed. 2 addresses have been removed from this full thing is why? Because one address is always reserved for broadcasting, and one address is for network address. Okay, so one is your subnet address or your network address, and the other one is your broadcast address. Okay, so minus 2. So 2 raised to 12 is 4096 minus 2, that is coming to 4094 host. So if you have a subnet mask of this, okay, if you have a subnet mask of this, now see, this means what? This is 255, 255. So it is which class IP will go with here? The class B IP. Okay, the class B IP. So if you have a class B IP, okay, means this part is your host part, and this was your network part. Okay, so if you have a class B IP address and this subnet mask, then it can support 4094 hosts. So you can connect 4094 hosts. Are you getting it? Okay. Then we come to the next example. The network on internet has a subnet mask of this. Okay, that is 255.255.224.0. What is the maximum number of hosts it can handle? So this is 255, this is 255, then this 224 and this, all zeros. Okay, so this is for 255, this is for 255, this is 224 and this is 0. So how many zeros? These are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 2 raised to 13 minus 2. So 8192 minus 2 is, it can support 8190 hosts. Okay, so subnet. So what do you mean by this subnet mask is, it is also will support class B address. Okay, this is host part, right? This was your host part and this was your network part. Okay, in this host part you are taking 3 bits. So these are your subnet bits. This you have put. Okay, so the host bit, this 3 host bit you are converting into subnets and adding it to network part. Okay, that is subnet. Okay, so I hope you all have understood this. Okay, now this problem which I am going to explain is very, very important. Okay, and then it is mostly asked for 5 to 7 marks. So what is asked in this problem is IP address is given and the subnet mask is given. You have to find class, subnet address, broadcast address, number of hosts, subnet bits, number of subnets, and range of addresses. Okay, so class you all know how to find. What you are supposed to do? How to find class? Okay, you take the first octet of the IP address, convert into binary. So binary of 172 is what? 10101100. So once you convert into binary, you have to see the first order bits. This starts from 10. If it is starting from 0, then it is class A. If it is starting from 10, it is class B IP address. If it is 110, then class C. If it is 1110, class D, and so on. Okay, so this IP address is a class B IP address. So with this you get 1 or half mark, whatever is assigned. So what you know how to find a class. Second is subnet or network address. You have to find the subnet or the network address for this IP and this subnet mask. So what you do is you take the IP and convert into binary. So this is step 1. So this is your 172 converted to binary. This is your 60. This is your 50 converted to binary. And this is your 2. So IP is converted into binary. Then you convert subnet mask into binary. So this is all 8 ones, this is all 8 ones, and this is 3 ones followed by 5 ones, and this is all zeros. Okay, so this is 255. So this is also 255. Then you have 224. Okay, and then you have 0. So once you write IP and subnet mask like this, you have to perform AND operation for it. AND operation means what? If both the inputs are 1, then only the output is 1, else it is 0. So if it is 0, 0, it's 0, 0, 1, it's 0, 1, 0 is 0, and 1, 1 is 1. So you have to perform AND operation on this. And what answer you get? You get this as the answer, that is 172.60.32.0. So your subnet or the network address for this IP and this subnet mask is this. I hope you all have understood this. Okay, so this is how we get the second. Next we will see the broadcast address. Okay, so how we get the broadcast address. Now the subnet address what we got from the previous is this, right? 172.60.32.0. Okay, so 172.60.32.0, that was your subnet address. Now this subnet address, okay, you have to see the continuous zeros and just convert them into ones. See, this remains same. You can see here, this part remains same. This part also remains same. So 172.60. remains same. Now what is changed is, you have to see this 0, 0 remains same, 1, 1, 0, yeah, okay. Then these are continuous zeros. So that if in broadcast address, you have to make this as 1. So this 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 ones, you have to convert into ones. Okay, and you get broadcast address as 172.60.63.255. So this is how you get broadcast address. Next is your number of hosts. You all know how to find number of hosts. Okay, that is 2 raised to number of zeros minus 12. How many zeros are there? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 2 raised to 13 minus 2 is 8190 hosts. Okay, you are getting it? Okay. Now subnet bits. Okay, now subnet, now this is which class address? This is class B address, right? So class B address means network portion is 1 and 2, right? This is see, in subnet address you see, this is 1 and 2 is the network portion. These two are the host portion, right? Now in this host portion, you can see these 3 blue color, they are used for subnetting. Okay, so subnet bits are 3. Okay, only 3 bits are used for subnetting. Then number of subnets, 2 raised to this 3, whatever you have got. That is 2 raised to subnet bits is giving you number of subnets. That is 8 subnets. 2 raised to 3 is 8 subnets. Then range of addresses. Range of addresses, how you find is, whatever subnet address you have, you add 1 to it. So if I add here 1, what I will get? 172.60.32.1. Okay, so if I add to this subnet address 1, I will get 172.60.32.1. And from the broadcast address, what I do? I subtract 1. So this is my broadcast address. Okay, I subtract 1 address from it. So if I subtract 1 from 255, what I'll get? I will get 254. So 172.60.63.254 is my range. Okay, So range of addresses is subnet address plus 1. So your subnet address is this. So plus 1 will be 170.